Discogs can be a wonderful resource and website for record collectors, whether you just use it for cataloging or you're a buyer or seller. I'm going to talk a little bit about the site and some of my most expensive records according to that site coming right up. Hey, it's Ross from the Infectious Groove Podcast and the Vinyl Channel, and a lot of us record collectors have been using Discogs for years, either to catalog our collection or many people use it as a seller. I myself am not a seller. I don't sell any vinyl, resell anything, but a lot of folks on the site do, and I personally have been a Discogs buyer for years. And I've got things from all over the United States and from all over the world from Discogs, and really had good experiences overall. I think, honestly, I can remember one or two hiccups that I had, and I don't even remember having a time where a seller gave me too hard of a time about discrepancy, and at the most it was one or two. Anyway, so for me, I've had a great experience on Discogs. However, I do use it to catalog my collection for a number of reasons. Number one, I do not do any reselling, like I said. I don't ever plan to do any reselling, but it is a nice place to have to go through, catalog your collection, and on top of that, even though the value in the records, I've said this many times on the channel, I know a lot of you watching this channel feel the same way. The value in the records is what you get out of it. Many of these records that I have that are expensive, I either bought when they were far less expensive, or I paid a premium for them because I want the music. I'm not collecting them as an investment, so to speak, just more collecting them for the music that I love. Having said that, I do know that a lot of people in the vinyl community like to see who has what, and some folks that maybe own more of the more expensive pieces. And that's one of the things that we do on the channel too. Every Thursday I try and share a video on a special or rare pressing. So a lot of the ones that I'm going to list on here, I either already have a video for on the channel that you can go back and check out, or I will have a video on the way sooner than later for it. So going down the list of my profile on Discogs, it's really quite something. Now, I do have quite a few box sets near the beginning of my list at the top of the heap as far as the what the pricing goes for. Now, I have this filtered just by max value, high to low. So, of course, some of these numbers are going to seem sensational. This is not what they've sold for recently, or maybe even since this video's been shot. This is just me very simply going through the highest value, max high to low, because it seemed like an easy way to organize it for this video. So number one, and I do have a video for this on my channel, is the Ozzy Osbourne See You on the Other Side box set that retailed for about $500 when it came out, and that thing is going for $2,000 on Discogs as of the filming of this video. I don't need to go into great detail. If you'd like more detail on it, again, I have a video on the channel on it. Next up after that, coming in at about $500 less than that, is the Beatles in mono, which I have to give a shout out to a friend of mine. When the Beatles released those stereo and mono box sets, I didn't know a lot at the time about the Beatles recording history and why it was more important to, or many people prefer the mono Beatles records over the stereo ones. So I just bought the stereo box set, and a friend of mine came over, and not being judgy about it, but said, hey, you know, if you can, I would exchange that and pay up toward getting the mono set, because I really think that's going to be a better deal overall. And whew, yep. First of all, I love the sound of it better, but then almost every day that I check Discogs, I'm like, oh wow, the value of that Beatles mono set went up. I don't have a video on that box set on the channel yet. There's been a lot of videos done in the vinyl community about it, so it's kind of one that I've skipped so far. But if there's any interest, if you'd like to see me do a video on it, I'll be happy to gather everything together and do a video on that box set. Just say the word, drop a comment, and let me know. One that kind of puzzles me that's up high in my list is an original pressing that I have of 1995 Pink Floyd Pulse. And I know that they reissued that recently, and I don't understand quite why. the original pressing goes for so much money. Mine's in great shape, and that's actually one that I got off of Discogs within the past 6 or 7 years, and the price on it has just skyrocketed since I bought an original pressing of it. I bought my original before there were even any plans of them reissuing it. I haven't bought the reissue, but that's because the original sounds fantastic. I have heard the repress. I had a friend bring it over, and they sounded identical to me, so I'm a bit puzzled why Pink Floyd Pulse goes for as much as it does. Another one that I do have a video for on the channel that is up there, just under the $1,000 mark as of right now, is Squeeze Box, the Weird Al vinyl collection. That's one that, as soon as that came out, that's one that I almost wished into being. I really wanted Weird Al to have a career-spanning vinyl box set, and boom, there was one. So I'm very, very happy about that. There is a full video for that on the channel, so you can go back and check that out if you're interested in taking a look at that. Some of the coolest packaging I've ever seen in a vinyl box set, by far, is with that Weird Al box set. A couple of single LPs that are on this list, which is one is not a huge surprise, and I do have a video for this one on the channel. Prince, The Gold Experience from 1995. There's a couple of different versions of this album on vinyl. There's one that's on gold, like a translucent gold, that's actually, as far as I understand it, has much lower pressing numbers than the black vinyl version that I have. But the black vinyl version it's still extremely rare. There, as of the shooting of this video, from what I understand, there are still legal issues with the song The Most Beautiful Girl in the World from The Gold Experience, which is why if you look that album up on streaming, the entire album is there except for the song The Most Beautiful Girl in the World. And from everything I've been told, I'm not any sort of Prince insider, but I know people who have good information, and they have told me that that's what's holding up the reissue of The Gold Experience. So I have to assume that the price of the original pressings will drop like a rock when it eventually does get reissued, because you know it's going to. But who knows? Like with the Pink Floyd record, maybe it will, maybe it won't. I'm not entirely sure. Two that kind of confuse me a little bit. One is, and maybe the Lady Gaga fans can help me out here, my pressing of Art Pop that I have, according to Discogs, goes for over just under $600, which has to be the most pricey of all Lady Gaga records. I bought it when it came out because I'm a fan of hers. I don't think I paid more than $30 for it, and I've just been surprised every time it climbs up the ladder in my collection. I just think, wow, why is that so much? I have no idea. So, but that one's a little bit interesting. And then the other one, and I do have a video for this one on my channel, is Blues Traveler 4. There was a reissue of it within the last couple of years. I was just in the record store that day and saw it and thought, oh yeah, heck yeah, what a great record. I'll pick that up. I had no idea that it was limited or anything along those lines. And not only was it limited, but boy, does that record keep skyrocketing in price. I really hope, again, none of this for me is, oh, I have this and you don't, or, you know, oh, look at the price on that, I'm gonna sell that. I want everybody to have these records. So, you know, especially like the last two, I just happened to buy them when they were in the record store new, and now they're rare and they keep going up in price. So I really hope, I don't even know why that Blues Traveler record is so rare or isn't being repressed. I sure hope it is. My hope when I do these videos on rare pressings or special pressings is that by the time the video comes out, because I shoot a couple of weeks ahead of time, my hope is that by the time you see this, you're like, what's he talking about? That just got announced for a reissue. Like, I would rather that happen than people go, oh man, he's got that and I don't. You know, like that's my intention for it. The last one that I'm going to round this video out with, and then if you want to see more, I'll be happy to shoot another video like this. And I do have a video for this one on the channel as well, is 1995's Van Halen-Balance. If you don't know, the big reason why the later catalog of Van Halen was harder to get on vinyl was because of the relationship between Sammy Hagar and the Van Halen brothers was really, really, really rocky. Lot of personal things, deeper than your average, oh, the lead singer thinks too much of himself, or the guitar player thinks too much of himself. There was a lot of deep issues between the Van Halen brothers. Unfortunately for everyone involved, we lost Eddie at far too early of an age this past year. And Wolfgang Van Halen has made mention time and again that he does believe that eventually everything will get reissued. They'll go back through the vault and that type of thing. So I personally do think that eventually we will see some reissues and expanded versions. Super Deluxes probably eventually. For me personally, the biggest thing that has come since Edward passed away was finding out that Sammy and Edward did make up and like had a good friendly relationship prior to Edward's passing. That to me means more than anything as far as the music goes and their personal relationship. But I do think eventually we will see that. But for the time being, I think Balance is just going to keep going up in price. And a different kind of truth as well. The last Van Halen studio record, I have that as well. I think I did a video that included both of them in the same video. If not, there's at least 2 videos on here on the channel that cover those Van Halen LPs. So, like I said, that's just a quick rundown of some of the things that are in the top Discogs videos that I have. Let me know what some of yours are. Let me know what you think of some of the ones that I have. If you have answers as to why, like the Lady Gaga record is more expensive than others, or the original version of Pulse, things like that. As always, I thank everybody for watching, but for me, the comment section, the interaction, that matters more to me than anything else. But I very much appreciate you stopping by to watch today. Hopefully you hit the subscribe button, but if you don't, please make sure to drop a comment so we can have a music discussion. Thanks.